David.
Hey, Caitlin. How are
Hi.
you?
I had a lunch that
Okay.
I look forward to talking about.
Well, aside from
However,
that, yeah, are you ready to talk about some common mistakes companies make on social media? Because
yeah,
that's our topic today. So it's good you're ready to talk about that. Otherwise, we'd be screwed.
yeah. Well, I'm also looking forward to talking about the consequences.
Oh,
The
yeah.
mother in me is quite excited to talk about how your mistakes will cost you for the rest of your life.
Yep. And
No.
we're not going to go into individuals. There's been plenty done on individuals who make stupid
Ugh.
comments and lose their
Yeah.
jobs. We're going to talk about companies, like actual corporate entities saying, like, hey, yeah, that seems like a good idea. And then just
It's
not,
actually not. Do you know
not.
what does seem like a good idea, though? A breakfast martini.
It does. I thought you were going to say sushi, but that also sounds
No.
like a good idea.
Consequently,
I had it the other day.
we
It was very good.
we had a lunch. The initial place we tried to go, because it's like kind of it was like a cozy lunch day. There's some sinus things happening.
Okay.
Megan
Okay.
and I were both like, let's get some spicy curry. But the Thai place was closed for cleaning. They're
Oh,
cleaning their vent hood, which is good because that
yeah,
prevents a fire, right?
it does. And it prevents gross stuff from falling into your food.
Yes. So then we went next door, and right after we ordered, the health inspector came.
Oh,
And
no.
so it was like while we were waiting and then eating, the health inspector was like doing his job. And we couldn't really focus on the conversation because we kept just being like, should we be here? Like trying to listen in.
Yeah. Is he
And
going to
then
come grab my plate and
he
close
didn't
the
seem
place down?
alarmed. He did not seem
Okay, that's good.
alarmed.
It was probably just a
Um,
routine check.
it was their annual inspection, according
Hmm.
to Health Department Tom, or whatever his name was. I'm pretty sure it was Tom.
All right. Health Department Tom.
Yep.
Cheers. Cheers to Tom.
He had a little like emergency pack, fanny pack scenario, waist bag, belt bag. What are we calling him now?
I don't
That had
know.
like a little hair net and like a thermometer. He was prepared.
Well, it's his
He
little
was
equipment
prepared.
bag.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and
So anyway,
I'll bet that
I
Health
don't really
Inspector
need.
Tom.
Yeah, I don't really need to. I don't really need sush
Okay.
anytime soon. Yeah,
But I'll
yeah.
believe that Health Inspector Tom probably did not have a breakfast martini today since he was on the job and
I would
doing
assume not.
inspectory things.
Yeah.
But I think so. This one's interesting. It came from London, which, okay, sure.
I mean, it's gin,
Why
so
not?
that makes sense.
Traditional English name Salvatore Calabrese in London created this breakfast martini. So it's gin, orange liqueur, lemon juice, and then he put in orange marmalade.
I'm
Caitlin.
into this.
I feel like the sweetness of that, and then there's going to be the bitter because marmalade has the
Hmm.
peels in it too. That little bitter.
Is that what
Um,
makes a marmalade a marmalade?
it is, I believe. It's got the chunks of the fruit. It's well, that's a jam versus a jelly.
Hmm.
I think a
I'll
marmalade
look
does
it
have to
up.
have like the skin of the fruit in it. Maybe.
Dear
I don't
Google,
know.
what is
But yeah, so you
marmalade?
get that sweetness, but then you get the depth from those orange peels that are in the marmalade. Super refreshing for any time of the day, but it is called the breakfast martini, so I think you start your day with this one.
You're correct. Marmalade is a fruit preserve made from the juice and peel of citrus fruits boiled with sugar and water.
Yep.
The well known version is made from bitter orange. It is also made from lemons, limes, grapefruits, mandarins, sweet oranges, bergamots, or other citrus fruits. Can also be a combination of those.
Interesting. So we know kind of what's in it. Let's talk about how it all comes together, Caitlin.
Yeah. We need an ounce and a half of gin, Hendrix if you're me. A half ounce of orange liqueur like Combier, or you could also use it's not
Cointreau?
curacao. It's thank you, Cointreau. I
Cointreau.
always get those the vowels do something funny in my
Yeah, and
brain,
if you've
I
got
can
that
never
on
remember it
hand,
again. Yeah.
if you got that on hand for your margaritas anyway, because it's a
Yeah.
nice little easy thing in the margarita, it works. It's very orangey.
Yes, yes. So 3/4 ounce of lemon juice, as we know, freshly squeezed, and then 1 bar spoon, which is about a teaspoon, if I
Yeah.
had to estimate, of orange marmalade. And then you can garnish with a lemon wheel. So you add your gin, Orange liqueur, lemon juice, and marmalade into a shaker with ice and shake vigorously until well chilled. You want to double strain that if you are feeling extra into a chilled coupe glass and garnish with your lemon wheel. A little tip about lemon wheels, you can dehydrate them and still use them for garnish. And then you don't have to have like a juicing lemon and also a garnish lemon, because that's a lot of lemons at a home bar.
Yep. If we had time, I would put down my headphones and run to our freezer and pull out our bag of dried blood orange wheels, which are great because you don't use those very often. So like it's helpful. You know what I would want to do with this? I would almost want to candy the lemon wheel so it's a little sugary. Like, you know, you do the candy and I don't know, you put it in the pan with sugar or whatever. However you candy fruit.
It's making me want like a little sugared cranberry because it's the season of sugared cranberries. It is the season of sugared
cranberries, yeah. Maybe that'll come up with a Christmas drink or something.
I took a very delicious cranberry jalapeno relish scenario to a wine tasting last night, and I could have eaten only that.
That's interesting.
It was quite good, yes.
A cranberry jalapeno relish. I like.
Well, and then you just like, they called it salsa, but I'm like, this is relish, guys. This is cranberry relish. That's not from a can.
I mean, salsa just means sauce, I think, right? Like
that's true.
So, I mean, technically, like,
a relish
like
is a
ragu
salsa?
in Mexico is a pasta salsa.
But don't they call it gravy?
I don't know.
Isn't there like an Italian gravy?
Oh, yeah. In Italian, yeah. They can call it gravy. All right. So, I wish we had breakfast martinis right now, even though it's not breakfast time, but it's always time for a martini. Yeah. But let's like take a quick break, and then we will jump into these super common mistakes companies make with their social media, and hopefully, none of our
help you
listeners
not make
these.
them. Yes.
All right, so we are back, and Caitlin has done a costume change. Well, mild costume change, adjustment.
I don't know. Does anybody else call us if you feel like you get tired of being in your skin sometimes?
And if you call us, you'll get a free book.
You get a
cocktail book.
You get a free book.
So we'll just plug that again. It's been all over the web
I
socials.
know. I've got 65 impressions on my tiny little LinkedIn audience.
Well, you'd think one of them would call in, but nobody's called in.
One would think.
All right.
One would think.
All right. So, we're talking about social media and posting your 65 engagements. And mistake number 1, not engaging with your audience. Did you engage with your 65 impressions, but nobody said anything, did they? Or did somebody comment?
I think there were some likes, but nobody commented on it. So
okay. And
I did my due diligence.
And engaging with your audience isn't writing a post that says, damn it, you people who liked this, why are you not commenting?
You jerks. I would never.
You don't want to shame your audience to engage them. That doesn't work with anybody.
No, that's like the fastest way to an unfollow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're trying to gain more like followers and fans. And so is every company. But like, so if people do comment, you should respond. You can acknowledge it with a like. You can give it a love or a laugh or whatever. You can also just reply to it. Almost every social media software makes that easy, or you can do it native on the platform. Same thing with. You
should. If someone is commenting 100%. On your stuff, like that's an engagement opportunity to have a conversation. Like, and that's the fastest way to demonstrate your brand personality, how you care about your customers. Like, there's no reason to not respond to comments.
Yeah, even if it's a negative comment, as long as they're not trolling. Like if somebody has a legit complaint, your best thing to do is to actually respond to that and talk to them about it. If it's really tense, you can take it offline. But still, even just responding and saying, hey, I want to know more about this, it shows you care. The other thing people forget about, messages and reviews, Caitlin. Ooh, if I leave you a message and it's a legit message and not a I'm from the Facebook's support team and I'm going to delete your profile, that's not a real message. You don't have to engage with that. You should just delete it. But real messages, like, actually acknowledge them and respond.
Mm-hmm.
You can have an autoresponder on most social media that tells people, like, it'll, we'll get back to you within 24 hours. Don't really recommend it.
I don't either.
It's
I think a
odd
lot of places used to do that when it was first, I think, like especially on Facebook.
because
But
nobody's
it
monitoring
just,
it. That's all
yeah,
it
but
says is no, this is never going to go anywhere.
yeah. And like what a waste.
So,
If that's the choice, then just like don't allow people to message your page.
well, in our,
Like,
is it now Meta Messenger?
I
Is it
don't
separate
freaking
from
know.
Facebook? I think they're trying to make it its own social media platform, but your Instagram messages, direct messages, and Facebook messages are
Mm-hmm.
in the same as long as you set it
In
up
your
that way.
business suite, yeah.
In your business suite. And so ours is connected to HubSpot. And so if one of your clients messaged you, it would actually go to you, Caitlin. You would get an email or a
Oh,
notice. Otherwise, everything else just comes to me and I can see it on my phone. And generally, it is just like the Facebook's support team is going to delete our
yeah.
account for violating
Okay.
something.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, delete, delete. I don't know
Yeah.
why Facebook can't fix that. Maybe that's a whole other episode we could do. Why Facebook can't clean its own house.
They don't care, I
Dear
think
Mark.
is the Did you hear the remix
Oh, I
of the
heard.
song he
Yes.
did with T-Pain? T.I.
Yeah, and so it
What
became
a nightmare.
yeah. I try to avoid that stuff. Anyway, if you don't engage, there are consequences, and you said you love the consequences, Caitlin. What if I don't
Yes.
engage? What's going to happen?
Well, it's just it's not good. People will probably stop trusting you as much. I think the biggest one for me is a missed opportunity. Like I
Hmm.
said, that it's just another avenue to connect with your customers. But the biggest thing aside from that missed opportunity to connect with your folks is the engagement. And that's what is rewarded so
Yep.
much on social media platforms is continually and consistently showing up in an authentic way
Yep.
is the way that content gets picked up by other people. It shows that it's valuable to the algorithm, whatever she prioritizes on any given day.
Yep.
But your content will be deprioritized as people stop engaging with
Which goes
it.
back to missed opportunities, right? Because the more
Yeah.
engagement you get, it feeds itself.
Yes.
And if you don't, you
Yes.
don't. So, how do you engage? Easiest thing is respond promptly. Like, basically, have somebody monitoring things and connect, respond. Personalize your replies. Don't use an autoresponder. We just talked about that 3 seconds
Yeah.
ago.
Yep.
Definitely don't do that. Um,
Yeah.
Another great way to engage, share user generated content. If you've got users who are making things from your brand,
Yeah.
don't shame them or send them a cease and desist. Elevate that. Share it. Embrace it. Comment on it.
Yeah.
And make sure you give credit.
I was just going to say the biggest one
Very
for this
important.
is credit your original creators, which goes back to that like trust and authenticity, right?
Yep.
If I make
100%.
something that's like, oh, I love this face cream or whatever, and they're like, they take my post or video or whatever and don't credit that back, I'm like, oh, well, that leaves a sour taste in my mouth. I don't.
Yep. And also remember, resharing on the same platform is generally allowed, and that's perfectly fine. Taking it and using it off of that platform and on another platform, you're going to need to have a conversation with them because that's their property, that's their rights. So, but, resharing
You
an
wanna
Insta
get
on an
really
Insta, totally great.
particular about it. It's actually the property of the platform, but that's a conversation for
Sort
a
of.
different day.
Yeah. We can get into copyright later.
Terms and conditions.
The last one really dovetails into our mistake number 2 really well.
Yeah.
So the last one, the way you can engage is know who your audience is,
Mm-hmm.
understand what they like, get your content focused on them, look at your metrics to see how you're performing, look at your metrics to see who you're performing with, because that is going to prevent you from making mistake number 2.
Well, and I want to say too, like the comments and things are the easiest way to know your audience. Like they're telling you, right?
Oh yeah, they're saying
And so
things.
you can, depending on how large your audience is or how many folks are monitoring your social platforms, you can use all of those comments and shares and things to go look at those profiles to start understanding your audience. Like, are they sharing pictures of their kids or their dogs? What age demographic are they falling
Yep.
into?
And that's
Yeah.
best way to not misstep with your audience.
Hmm.
So I've seen so many companies do this, chasing trends blindly. Like you see something cool and you want to jump on it, and it's kind of like your grandparents like wanting to jump in on some cool slang. It doesn't hit right. It's just never going to hit right. I
Yeah.
was trying to think of a better example of that, but um,
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's probably me like explaining what like Gen Z and Gen Alpha slang is in our podcast channel earlier, where I'm like, Google tells me, and
yeah,
then try to
Caitlin's giving
use
us,
that in a sentence. It just is not
and those are even older terms. We were looking up,
ill-advised.
we got
Well, they
into
made me feel
thought and
ancient,
oomph.
so
And so we got
didn't
into
know what
those.
any of that was.
Uh,
Yeah,
it was very
yeah.
exciting. Maybe we could do an episode on that too. We got so many episodes, Zach. We can spin out of this one,
The
spinning them
kids
out
would
left and right.
the kids would call it cringe, I think.
Yeah, I mean the and I can't remember her name, the actress, but the old lady who does the Gangsta's Paradise thing, right? Is that the rap?
What?
No, maybe that's not right.
All
It's
I'm thinking of
to the
is Amish Paradise.
like whatever thing. You're not gonna be that as a brand. Like the
Oh,
fact that
yeah.
you will hit that cool point where it's like so
Hmm.
far over the top and cool. That's also scripted and practiced and rehearsed. So find things that your audience likes. You're much better off like hitting with things that resonate with your audience than not. Um, so you hit the nail on the head. You're just way ahead of it. Like this is great. We're
Oh.
running early because you talked about practicing social listening, right? Use your
Hmm.
tools, listen to your audience, talk to your audience, take their feedback. It's
Hmm.
so easy to do. And then my favorite is what we just talked about. Don't jump the shark. Fun fact, Zach, do
So
you know where
it's
jump the shark
oh
comes
yeah.
from?
Do you
Okay, you
really?
do.
Name it. Name it. Name it.
I don't
This
know
is
if
a
you can
pop
get on.
quiz.
Can you get on mic fast enough?
Yeah. Yes, you got it. We'll cut it out.
Okay, so I don't know the specific show, but I know that this show happened, like where they actually jumped a shark, and then that became like the thing where anytime a show goes way outside of like
Yep.
the box.
Yep.
Yes.
So it was
It's-
Happy Days.
It's Happy Days
and
and,
it was
the
fun.
Fonz.
The Fonz jumped the shark, like literally.
But he's
on
water skiing
water skis.
in like a leather jacket
Uh-huh.
and jumps over a shark. And at the time, because was that show in like the 70s?
Yeah, I think it
60s,
would have been
70s?
70s.
Because it was like, it was set in like the 50s, but it
Yep.
was like,
happening. In
it
the
was in
70s.
color, so it had to have been like the 70s. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like setting a show today in 2000.
Don't.
But yeah, so that's where it comes
That
from.
was
Good job,
rude.
Zach. I'll take that. I mean, you didn't know
I
the
w-
exact
yes.
show, but
I will allow it.
there was
Have
a
you ever
literal shark
seen-
jumping.
You just acknowledge, have you ever seen or are you familiar with the show Happy Days? Yes.
Ron Howard.
Okay.
Okay.
Ron
okay.
Howard.
Some great actors.
Joni and Chachi.
Yeah, the spinoffs, the spinoffs of the spinoffs of the spinoffs on Happy
Right.
Days. So with that, and the part of the reason it's called Jumping the Shark is because they just went so far for a stunt that it wasn't true to the show. It
It's
wasn't
like
true to the audience.
Left
And they were-
field. Nobody understood
Yep.
what it was about.
It happens
Yeah.
a lot when TV shows in particular, comedies get late in their their career, I guess,
Run.
or
Yeah.
long in the tooth, late in their run, and they're just trying to make up new things. Somehow, The Simpsons, however, has never jumped the shark. They just predict the future because they're time traveling into the future and coming back and writing about it. That's how that's working.
Is that the theory?
I mean, some of the stuff is pretty exact, like almost frame for frame from things that happened like 10 years later. Like, yeah, Google it. Google the Simpsons time travel conspiracy theory.
I've seen the memes.
Jump into the time travel conspiracy theory. So anyway,
Okay.
so you want to be focused on content that aligns with your brand's voice and values, and you can test and learn, right? So if you try something and it falls completely flat, figure out why and don't do that again.
Don't
Like,
do it again.
No, stop. Just stop. All
Do
right.
you know that number 3 is actually like my biggest pet peeve?
Oh, this one kills me. Yeah,
Ugh,
not proofing social content.
I might
And
throw up.
if you need a proofreader, we have a great one, and we would refer you happily. KSE Edits.
She is worth her weight in gold.
She is wonderful.
And worth her time in gold. And she just...
She's affordable too, and a good friend.
Yeah.
That's actually where I'm having Thanksgiving, Caitlin. So me and my
Aw.
mom and my mother-in-law, because we're the only ones actually around for Thanksgiving, are going over to Kim and John's house.
Oh, and that will be delicious because
It's going to be
Kim.
great.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
all right. So typos, grammatical
Don't
errors,
do this, please. Please,
all
for
of
the
those
love.
things.
There's no excuse in the year of our Lord 2024 for you to not have the Grammarly extension enabled, checking your spelling,
Even the
look for
free
your
one.
squiggly. Just please. Please.
Even the
And I
free, like, Grammarly,
understand like mistakes happen. It isn't the end of the world. Like I follow one creator who she's like, I type too fast. I have let this go. I don't come after me for typos. And I'm like, I will try really hard not to.
And don't let the wine or the gin do the typing either, especially for your brand. Like, just stay out of the brand
Yeah, that's
platform with that. If you want your own like feeds to be that, that's great. There was in 2017, there was a pretty famous one. The Department of Education typed out about W.E.B. Du Bois in a tweet with a quote, and they spelled his last name wrong. They spelled it Debois, D-E-B-O-I-S, instead of D-U-B-O-I-S. And then they apologized about it, and they had a spelling error in that tweet.
I think that I have to go throw my laptop into the river. This enrages me.
Yeah, it was a time. It was not a good time for them. I mean, it's when Betsy DeVos was heading that department, and she already was being attacked left and right for. She was never a teacher. She like didn't really understand it, and then to have the Department of Education having bad grammar, misspelling a name of a famous author, and then having spelling errors in there. It just
we
it's like
have to move
Webster's
on.
dictionary having
Come-
grammar
well,
errors or
it's-
spelling errors.
Please, for the love. It's not
So,
okay.
so you have to proof your social content. Have more than one person look at it. Most of your social content should be happening ahead of time anyway. Like you should be planning that out and hitting with your audience on things that you want to talk about. Your of the moment stuff, though, it takes minutes, if that, to have somebody else read that and proof
Yep.
it.
Or put it together, step away for 10 minutes, come back. If you don't have, like, if you're a small department, if you're an individual creator, like, either have a tag team, a buddy that you can have look at it, or take 10 or 15 minutes away from it and come back to it with fresh eyes.
Yep.
Because the biggest issue that we run into is, like, I've looked at this 400 different ways for 2 hours and I can't look at it anymore. And that's how you miss really, really simple stuff.
And that's part of why we use an external proofreader. The first time she sees it is when we send it to her to proof. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups.
Oh, no.
I know, terrible. And she's fresh on it and fresh eyes, and she'll see things that we completely glazed over and missed. We actually had one where the output, and it's a known issue apparently with InDesign, we'd output something as a PDF for print, and it just removed letters from words in the output. Like they were there in the master document, they weren't there in the PDF. And she sent that back, and none of us looked at it. None of us noticed it. She sent it back, and she's like, I feel like either my eyes are giving out or these words are missing letters. And so I went in and looked, and I'm like, no, they're missing letters.
They're definitely gone.
Yeah, and then Jesse dug into it, and he's like, yeah, it's a known issue. So he converted our entire cocktail book to outlines. All of the words in there are outlines.
Did it take 7 hours?
I don't know. I mean, he's got a pretty fast computer. Like, we beefed him up, so
Yeah.
hopefully not. But yeah, have somebody else look at it. It's not
Please.
that hard.
It's not.
You know, I was thinking as we were talking, like, I love Wendy's Twitter account or X account or whatever. Just their brand personality. And I haven't seen it on other platforms. I don't know if they do an Insta with it or whatever. But what I've never seen from Wendy's, typos.
They're sassy, but they're grammatically correct.
Yep. And so even when they're sassy and quick, they still take time to make it look good and make it right and correct. So yeah, that's those are our 3 things. So quick recap, your mistakes to avoid: not engaging with your audience. How do you avoid that? Engage with your audience.
Just talk to them like they're people and like
Right.
you're a people.
Not understanding your audience, which honestly dovetails right out of engaging with them. You're going to understand them better if you engage. And then proof your social content, people. double check your images, especially if you're using AI. I was generating something the other day, I think in HubSpot, just to play with it and see how their AI is working. And every single page when you generate with AI has a warning that says AI is known to make factual mistakes. Please double check and proof this output. And I'm like, yeah, that's true.
Did your arms and legs get all put in the right spot? Were you image generating or were you
I wasn't doing
copy?
image generating. I was doing copy. However, I did find a video that I was actually sent to me by somebody at HubSpot. It's of an agency dude who's demonstrating the Breeze social agent. And he has it create a post, but he also has it create an image. And the image it creates sort of has the HubSpot logo in it, but it screws up part of the logo somehow. And so I've seen that a lot too, where it's like, it's close, but you're just not there. And part of it's like, dear AI thing, you have to just go get it from their website and stick it in here. Like, how do you mess that up? But whatever.
I imagine there's something with intellectual property that says you can't just like copy and paste it. Yeah.
It could be. And
That'd
that's
be my
something they'll have
guess.
to get to permissions with. So like you can submit a form to HubSpot if you want to use the word HubSpot in a Google ad if you're a partner. And they'll get you approved and get you ungated so that Google won't slap you for trademark infringement. They need something like that with AI where it's like, no, I'm allowed to use these logos and things because they're mine or we're a partner. All right. So those are, I mean, it's really easy stuff. It's so basic, but I just feel like so many people don't do this. Right. That's fair. I think yeah. Okay. Well, Catelin, the basic bitch, is going to read us out.
I'll just read us out. Thank you, as always, for listening. You can find us at Antidote_71. We would love to hear your comments or feedback about this episode. If you have a question you'd like to send our way, you can do that at ctapodcast.live. Or you can still leave us a voice message on our hotline at 402-718-9971. Your question will make it into a future episode, and we will send you a cute-ass little cocktail book that has all of the letters.
All the letters are in it. It's actually in final proofing right now to make sure. Is it the first 10? Is that what we're doing, people?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works. And definitely check out our next episode coming up in a week. It is called Thanksgiving Margarita. And my gut says that episode comes out on Thanksgiving since we come out on Thursdays. I feel like Zac has timed that for that one. The topic there is going to be tips for working with an agency. And I've worked both sides. So I've been agency side, I've been client side. So it'll be a really fun one to talk about. And I'm dying to know what the Thanksgiving margarita is. Hopefully,
I hope it's cranberries.
It's not like a Thanksgiving wrap where you've got like the turkey, the mashed potatoes, the gravy, everything like all wrapped together with the cranberry
see a cute
sauce.
Little dumpling.
Okay.
It was like a puff pastry, and okay, yeah, we'll talk about it.
All right, so we'll see you next time.